What's the most abnormal way you've ever seen someone do a normal thing? I was cashier. Some people like to give you change so they can get different change. If total comes to $5.75 and you give $10.75, I get that you want a $5 back. Understandable. I don't understand giving me $10.05. You'd rather have $4.30 than $4.25. Do you want 3 dimes instead of a quarter? I don't get it. And it happens surprising often. I have done this and I can tell you, they just suck at math. Then when they get their change they assume that you suck at math. Watched my friend make a grilled cheese sandwich by putting cheddar cheese directly on a hot pan until it was all bubbled and crispy. Then put the cheese on some untoasted bread slices with ketchup. That made me gag. Girl I work with eats ham by sticking the slice on her face and sucking it up like a hoover. We stared at her the first time she did this and that was the day she found out not everyone eats ham the same way as she does. A guy I know swears that in every pair of socks there's a left and a right sock. He writes L and R on them and always pairs N as such. It's not a terrible thing to do, but it does strike me as terribly unusual. I don't write in them, but I can definitely tell from the shape of the sock where my big toe was. I have to wear them on the same feet every time. I can feel it if it's on the wrong foot. Apparently I've been like this since I was a small child. I once witnessed a college friend walk downstairs carrying a big between their big and little toes. Didn't say anything, just plopped on the couch. They then reached for a comically large bong sitting next to the couch and a guitar stand, with their bare feet. Positioned it carefully between their legs and proceeded to light the lighter with both feet while balancing said bong between their knees. They then took a rip that to this day remains in the Hall of Fame both for duration and because the smoke had the thickest, almost yellow, consistency. I could hardly believe what was happening. After nimbly lighting this superb bowl they carefully circled the lighter, roasting every last bit, and, dropping the lighter, they gingerly tamped down the cherry with one big toe while continuing to milk it. Mind you, this was a solid 45-60 seconds of comedy. Kind of like that scene in Austin Powers where he throws down an impossibly long whiz. I watched, speechless, as wave after wave of confusion, then curiosity, then bemusement, and finally pure dumbstruck rolled over me when they grasped and removed the bowl with their other big toe. I ducking, lost it. Without stopping or pausing they managed to clear the entire bong double fast, a feature that I had only ever seen performed by taking 2 consecutive pulls. Without a word, or a hand, they replaced the bong, picked up the lighter and went back up the stairs, leaving me, now lying on the floor, to die choking on my own laughter. My 4-year-old niece doesn't walk the normal way. I don't really know how to explain this, but you know when you're going to step your right foot forward, your left arm also automatically kinda sways forward and vice versa? Well, she does the opposite. The way she walks kinda makes it look like she's a robot or something. Edit. Spelling. Putin does the same thing. A man brought a woman home on their 3rd date. He was making a frozen pizza in the oven and when it was done he said, "Here's the hard part." He then grabbed the pizza out of the oven with his bare hands, screaming the entire time. He somehow thought that was the way you're supposed to get things out of the oven. In the army, stationed in Italy with the 173rd ABN, eating breakfast at the chow hall with my squad. One of the privates, a married guy, let's call him PP, sits down. Everyone has basically the same breakfast. PP's fruit of choice was a banana. Not strange. PP chooses to eat the banana first. Not strange. PP bites into the banana. Doesn't unpeel it. Just chomp. Now it's strange. He chews. We all stop eating. We're entranced. Still strange. He swallows. We all go wide-eye. Very strange. What? The nutrients are in the skin. PP. Eating couscous. A friend got a box as it was on sale. Not fully sure how to cook it. He was between places and would sometimes crash on our couch, my so and I, depending on the gig. Overall great guy. He'd buy groceries sometimes as his thank you. We explained that you cook couscous like rice and pair with pretty much whatever you want. He didn't feel like cooking, which is fine. We have plenty of options in New York City. We watched, I guess in gross shock, as he fought with the corner of the box. He was not touching the flaps today, friends. He decided the best road was straightforward, and that meant ripping the corner for the box off, tearing into the bag inside, fussing until he was satisfied his hand fit, and started just eating uncooked couscous. No utensils, just grab a handful and go to town. Loose couscous was in his beard. We were reasonably outraged at this behavior in our living room. His logic was that he is digesting it either way, and cooking is just a barrier to eating it now. We strongly vocalized how this was not true, but he was still happily snacking. Nothing we could say or do could ruin the joy he got from this snack, even if it got stuck in his teeth. Interesting person to share a place with. I haven't seen it, because I'm the one that does it, or did it. I don't play sports much anymore, and it used to drive my basketball coach up the wall lol. But apparently the way I catch balls is weird. If I'm not 100% ready or prepared, I'm focusing on defending against the other team, I tap the ball with the back of whichever hand is closest and always immediately catch it with my right hand. I have no idea why I did it. It rarely used to mess me up either, it was just a weird reflex. I do have a brain injury which, logically you'd think is the cause, but nothing affecting motor control or movement was ever found to be impacted from the injury, so it's a mystery. My mom and I called him Penguin Man. Looking back on it, he could have been a major germaphobe but basically turned his arm so his hand was flat out and used his forearm to open a large door. Wouldn't make much sense for a dude who hates germs to be going into the aquarium section of the zoo though. That has to be the most germ-filled place of the entire zoo, considering children will literally put their faces against the glass and lick it for no reason. Wherever you are, Penguin Man, just know you were seen that day, whether you wanted to be seen or not. Met my friend's new girlfriend and we both felt an instant connection. Non-romantic. We knew each other, but from where? Started guessing from where we work, back through older jobs, then neighborhoods we leaved, back through school. Finally arrived at the hospital we were born at. We were both born at the same hospital, but that wasn't too odd since there were only 2 local ones. Kept going and we were born on the same day. Never found any other way we were connected to explain the feeling we both had. We must have really bonded in that nursery. Saw some guy driving smoking a butt that he was holding with a plastic fork. He was well dressed and I was close to a courthouse, so I figured maybe he was on his way there in a rented suit and didn't wanna stink it up. Honestly pretty smart, but it looked bizarre and I still wonder if that was his deal or not. This was like 5 years ago lol. My ex ate cereal a lot, which is fine. Normal, cereal is great, but she put water in it. She filled her bowl with cereal, walked over to the sink, and turned it on, holding the bowl underneath it while I watched. It was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. Seeing my friend removing eggshells from a hard-boiled egg. She starts in the center, cracks open small pieces one by one. She takes 15 minutes to settle one egg, and the supposedly smooth hard-boiled surface would be half destroyed once she is done. This girl at my school was asked to cut a pizza into 1/8, so instead of cutting it how literally everyone cuts pizza, she decides to cut 7 parallel lines in it so everyone gets this bizarre little strip of pizza. I had tubes put in both my ears because of multiple ear infections as a child. Like not just a few. I have a book's worth of the aftercare papers they give you when you leave with a prescription from when I was born until I was 3. Not sure if it was my mom or my grandma giving me ear infections, but they both had really weird ways of curing things. Had to have a second set put in a few years later. Left ear lost it and the hole healed fine. No ear infections since and it drains well. The other one is messed up and apparently has permanent scarring on the drum. I then bumped my head rather hard getting out of the car about 6 months ago, on accident of course, and I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Getting used to it, but it's weird, especially when using headphones.